Okay, so I had another dream, and it was the same morning that I had the bride of Christ cheating on the Lord dream, and it was the same morning. So uh, at the beginning of the dream, it was split into parts. So just like that first time, and the last dream was the one where the Lord basically gave me His message. Um, so the last part of the dream was, of course, pretty different from the others. Very vivid and iconic, I guess I could say. Oh, okay. So, um, the I was at my old house. I was at my old house and I was walking the up the side driveway and from the front of the house to the back of the house, and I came to the backyard and I was getting ready to, of course, walk inside through the back door, and it was dark, it was nighttime, and we never invested in backyard lights because we always had the parking lot light from the business beside us. So it was the only light that was coming in was like the silver glow from the moon. And I was walking to the back door and I saw this big cat-like creature. And of course, the first thing that came to my mind was like a mountain lion or something, or of course, the prowling lion. That's what it seemed like to me. And so I was walking to the back door and I walked to try to close the door because I noticed it started to turn around and like look at me. And of course I was scared. And so I tried to close the door. Didn't want to die. And it was kind of like hanging off of its hinges. And it was uh, torn, like tattered. The door was all messed up. And so I picked it up from its hinges and tried to close the door. And um, of course, it was just like I had picked it up off his hinges and closed a really broken door, and so I really wasn't any protection there, and um, it was I'd say I'm just adding this in there. I can't remember it so completely. I feel like I'm adding this in there, but it may not be that I'm adding this in there. I think maybe the door healed, or maybe that's just me thinking that. Um, because like my other dream, said that the moon turned like blood, but it really wasn't. And later on, I found out, oh, that it really didn't turn to blood. So maybe this is just like that. So I wouldn't add too much perspective on that. But anyway, it was kind of the how I transitioned from different areas because I went to it was a two-story house, and so I went to the top of the house, and it was kind of like a slideshow type transition. Um, where it just slide down to one area to the next. And I was at the top of the house and I was looking out the window and I could see into the backyard and I saw the big cat like creature. And it was, of course, just prowling around. And I looked up at the mirror, not the mirror, the window, and I saw my reflection in the window. And then I looked at my reflection for a little bit, and I looked back down to the ground, and um, the cat creature thing was gone. And then I kind of just started like to look up at because we have a big tree in the back of our yard as well, and so I kind of like looked up at the top of the tree, or looked up to the sky, and then I woke up. And when I woke up, it was kind of like a slideshow as well, because I just like pulled down the covers as soon as I woke up. And as I was, it really made it seem like, yeah, that was from the Lord. And as I was laying in the bed, the words came to my mind. A wise woman builds her house up, but a foolish woman breaks it down with her own hands. And, that just really made sense to me. That's what was going on inside of that dream. The person that was upstairs, of course, they were safe, and then the thing left, and the person that was downstairs, they had the tattered door. It was like it was just you tore it down or whatever, and so I think that that's really iconic of or relevant to what we are supposed to be doing now as the bride of Christ. Um, we need to be very on guard because the time is so short, and um, And back in my old dream, when I said the Lord told me in the coming days, um, and I interpreted that as, literally, like the coming days, like it wouldn't add up to weeks or months or anything like that. But of course, it was my interpretation of that. However, it was still, I know that He's told me the coming days. um, and that I heard where he said within a week. He said that to other people as well. I interpreted it wrong. Um, he said within a week of this certain event that's going to happen in America, and I had a dream, a video about that dream as well, about um, bombs dropping in Miami, in the city of Miami. And I know that not a lot of people, some people are kind of scared of that, but it's terrible. But that's what the Lord He showed. He's not shown that only to me; He's shown that to other people as well. Um, so, but anyway, I interpreted that wrong. I interpreted that wrong. The days and the within a week and all of that. I thought he was talking about like from then, you know, and so I interpreted that wrong. But I know that now the time is, it's even shorter than it was back then. So whatever he meant back then, it's even more so now. And I just can't get off of this feeling that time is very short. um, so um, Satan is definitely speeding up in all of his attacks, and he's going to try to bring them in greater number. And we have to make sure that we're building up our houses, and as well not tearing them down at the same time that we're trying to build them up. And of course, that goes along with the five wise, five foolish, and you know make sure that you're the part of the wise bride. Um, I saw a post on Instagram last night that was showing a man inside of a pit, and he had a ladder to be able to climb his way out. He had a ladder to be able to climb his way out, but instead of climbing his way out of there, he took the little poles off of the ladder and he set it down and he made a fire. Um, and it had like a caption on the side of it that said, don't burn your opportunities for a temporary comfort. And I just thought that was, it really stood out to me, and I thought it was really relevant. you know don't mess yourself up for these temporary comforts and pleasures or whatever of the world. Just focus. You have to get out. It would be so much better to just use that energy to climb out of the pit than to just wait around and build yourself a fire so that you can be comfortable, in that moment. Is the fire is going to burn out, and then you're going to be stuck there. We don't want to be. We know what's going to happen. Or maybe some of us don't know what's going to happen to the people that really choose that. And we don't want to be a part of that. So anyway, God bless you, Bride of Christ.